So, I thought I'd do this video about some of my old supercapacitors. I had this supercapacitor from China, and well, I had a few actually. I replaced a bunch of my supercapacitors in where is it? Oh, I've lost where I put it now. Where did I put it? Oh, it's up there. Right, hang on. So a while ago, oh, I can't get it. Oh, it's right over there. Oh, right. So I replaced a few of these supercapacitors in this unit, and I got on my LED array and that. And I had an extra one left over, an extra supercapacitor, and I came to use it the other day. I had an idea how to um, do some compensation on the charge circuit for the robot vacuum, and what I wanted. You see, the problem was the charge unit on the robot vacuum cleaner. I converted it from nickel metal hydride into lithium. I've got a voltage balance board in the robot vacuum, but because of the difference, because you see, the charge circuit tends to overcharge batteries a little bit because nickel metal hydride, the voltage can go a lot higher. And the problem I was having was the fact that I can't overcharge lithium because you got to stay at a maximum, was it 16.8 volts. If you go above that, you can blow your lithium batteries up. So I had a voltage regulator on the robot vacuum cleaner, and what happened was the charging circuit on the robot vacuum would continually send voltage to the battery even though it was fully charged, and it said on the robot vacuum cleaner full, right? It said full, but after about 6-7 hours it was still trickling voltage in, so the supercapacitors were actually getting slightly overcharged, right? So I was trying to think of a solution to this problem, and I thought I'll use a supercapacitor. I'll stick that in series with and I'll stick a diode across the supercapacitor so that it doesn't get reverse charge when it runs flat. So the supercapacitor would act as a buffer, headroom basically. So I would add 2.7 volts of headroom, which is what's on the supercapacitor, so that the charge circuit would think that there was still nickel metal hydride batteries in the unit, so it could still go up to 18 volts without any problem. I thought, great, that's a great idea. So I comes to get this supercapacitor, and it's dead. It's completely dead. It was completely dried out. I thought, what? I only bought this a couple of years ago. I haven't even used the damn thing. So I was really disappointed. I was really sad. I mean, this is from China as well. And I thought, oh, well, there's got to be a way to reinvigorate it, re-energize this thing. So I squirted some acetone in the top, which can loosened up the rubber a little bit. And I tested it and I got 1 volt. And I thought, so it is dried out. I got a volt, but not much. And I thought, well, I need to, it's obviously water that's in there because it's obviously dried out. So I'm thinking, how do I get water in there? Because without drilling a hole in it. Well, I'm thinking, well, if it dried out, that means air or moisture or whatever is the electrolyte in it. The electrolyte must have escaped. So how do I get liquid in the supercapacitor? And that is the problem. So I came up with an idea, and I thought I'd share it because you might find this interesting. Using a compressor, actually a vacuum pump, what I did was I hooked up this piece of tubing, I actually had to expand the end to fit on the vacuum. So I attached this piece of tubing and to the cap of my medicine balls, right? Put some deionized water in there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pure. It's not yellow, it's actually pure white. It's the way the light's catching it. Can't really get the lights right. Anyway, there's pure distilled deionized water, so there's no impurities in it whatsoever. I put about I'd say about 50 ml of water in there. So get the supercapacitor, stick it in the tube, right? And this is what I did. Got my paintbrush, I pushed it down, submerged it, then I got this piece of plastic, right? Stick the piece of plastic to basically keep it submerged. The plastic comes into contact with the cap, which is got this springy thing on the end because it's a medicine thing. It's supposed to hold tablets. So all I have to do now is stick this thing on the end of my vacuum pump like this without dropping the damn thing. Oops, not even on camera. Let's just right. So I stuck that on there. Right, there we go. Now get my meter, which measures current, connect to my vacuum pump like this. Oops, I'm on the 200 milliamp range. I think I've blown a fuse, or maybe not. Just a minute. I don't think I have. Hang on. No, I want to be on the 10 amp range. Oops. Yeah, because it's about 700 milliamps. Right, I'm on the right. Okay. Oops, stop jumping. Right, there we go. Right, 760 milliamps. Oops. So I keep the vacuum pump going to suck all the air. Suck all of the air out of the supercapacitor, right? So because there's a vacuum now in that tube, you might be able to hear it. Listen. Oh, did you hear a little pop then when the lid came off? It sucked all the air out of the supercapacitor, which allowed the water to get sucked back in. The deionized water to get sucked back in. A bit of water came out of here, look, because it sucked some water out. So I'll do that a bit longer actually, just to make sure, because I want to show you how I've done it. This thing's dancing around. Hang on a minute. I want it on the rubber. It vibrates, it dances around. Keep it going for about 20 seconds. Right, that should be enough. I did it twice now. So I did that. Listen, see if we can hear a pop. We hear a pop there. Yeah, so it sucked all the air out of the supercapacitor now. I'll take my... Where's my tweezers gone? Take my piece of plastic out of there. Grab the supercapacitor by the leg. By a leg. Oops, if I can grab it. Can't show you very well while I'm grabbing it. It's only a tiny container. Right, there's my supercapacitor. Oops, spilled water everywhere, and it weighs noticeably more now. It is a lot heavier. It was light as a feather when I put it in there because it was dry, right? So I have given my supercapacitor new life. I brought it back to life just by adding some, without even taking it apart. I was going to cut it apart. That's why it's got sellotape on it. And well, the other reason it's got sellotape on it is because I went and spilt some acetone because I was doing an experiment with acetone, and the acetone started to take the writing off, and I thought, oops. Yeah, there's the long line that goes down the side there. I melted the writing off it, and I don't want to melt the writing off it, so I thought, well, rather than that happening, I'm going to wrap the whole thing in sellotape. So I wrapped the whole thing in sellotape. It's a green cap, by the way. I wrapped the whole thing in sellotape so I wouldn't get acetone on the writing. Anyway, the water has been sucked into the supercapacitor. It's deionized water, so it's distilled water anyway. And now it readed 0 milliamps previously. It actually read nothing. There was no there was no conduction whatsoever, right? Let me get my camera stand, move this pump out of the way, stick the camera on this stand, because I want to, right, let me just put a weight on that so it doesn't fall over. Right, so now, if we go on current, look at the meter. Oh, it's off the screen. I'll put it on its side. Oh, that doesn't work either, does it? Just a minute. Let me just prop the camera up a bit. Just stick this underneath here. Try the other end. Right, you should be able to see the meter now. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Right. So now, when I put current through the supercapacitor, instead of it reading, I think it was reading 2 milliamps, it actually let me get the other power. I need to get the right battery, so just give me a sec. I'm going to go and get the right battery. I'll get these batteries out of the way. I don't want water on them, otherwise they'll start oxidizing on me. Well, I've got some 4 volt batteries here, so I'm just going to use. Oh, actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll use the nickel metal hydride batteries. They're still good. I mean, most of these nickel metal hydride batteries are actually the same voltage as the supercapacitor. They're actually about 2.7 volts each. So let's have a look. Let's go to voltage range. Voltage. So if I put my meter on this one and that one, oh, we have 2.68 volts. Supercapacitor is 2.7, so that's perfect. So these are the old robot vacuum nickel metal hydrides that I took out the robot vacuum because it's got some bad cells in there. I took the fuse out. I used all the original safety things like the fuse. The temperature probe is all mounted on the lithium pack now, so I mounted all those on there now. So there's some cells still good on it. So let's see. Let's connect this one to positive. Come on. Right. Oh, if I can get this damn clip on. Right, that's positive. We'll connect that end to, let's put this on current, 10 amp range. Right, positive, I'll clip this on here. Stick that out the way over there. Well, I want negative to this leg of the supercapacitor, that's negative there. So I'll clip that on there, put that on the negative lead. Oh, these leads are crap, they won't reach very well. I'm having a job getting them to go on. It's these things are a bit wide. Let me try the other end. Just a minute. Get this other end on. That's a bit better. Right, that's on the negative. Put this end on. Oh, sorry, that's the. Anyway. Oh, just a minute. I've got mixed up now. Which is positive? Which is? Oh shit. Hang on. That's positive. So that wants to go to. I'll have to check now because I'm confused. I'm not thinking straight. Right, let's just make sure. I'll put it on volts again so I can get this right. don't want to blow the supercapacitor up, do I? I've just fixed the damn thing. So this is positive, I believe. Stick that on there. Connect to negative. That should be... oh, it's the wrong way around as well. Good thing I checked. It wants to be that way around. Right. No, it was right before. What the hell? Oh, I see what's going on. I've got my thing wrong way around. Hang on. Just a minute. I'm not with it today. I'm just not thinking straight. Stick that one on there. Right. That's right. Now, that's positive. On there, 1 volt still, so I won't put any power through this. Okay, that's correct. Right, I'll just get my thingamajig lead, my little clip lead thingy. Come on. Stick this on here and clip that on there. Right, let's go to current. I'll leave it on there a minute. Right, it's connected to the supercapacitor. It's on volts at the moment. Unplug this positive lead, put it on current. Let's see how much current we can charge it with. Oh, look at that, 1.5 amps. Yeah, 1.34 amps. Remember earlier when I was testing this supercapacitor, all I was getting was 2 milliamps. 2 friggin' milliamps. Okay, 1.2 amps is not a lot, but don't forget these nickel and metal hydrides are crap. They've had it. They've got no juice left in them, so the nickel and metal hydrides have probably been pulled right down. But look at that, we're getting 1 amp now. 1 amp is going into the supercapacitor, which is damn sight better than what we had earlier with 2 milliamps. I'm sorry I didn't film that, but yeah, I did at the time when I filmed it. I just thought it was dead, and I thought, well, there's no chance of saving the supercapacitor, you know. But I didn't realise they'd just use water in these damn things. Well, that explains a lot. Now that I know how to rejuvenate them, I can use the same principle to rejuvenate all of my supercapacitors when they dry out, or when they stop working. It's only because they've dried out. So I can put them all in this little vacuum chamber, this mini vacuum chamber, and replenish the water that's in there, because it seems to be just water that's in there. Well, that's what the real test is going to be, to see how much voltage this supercapacitor's got in it now, to see how much voltage it's actually got. Now I'm going to go back to voltage, because I want to measure the voltage differential between the nickel metal hydrides and the supercapacitors. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the voltage on the cost of these nickel metal hydrides, and then I'm going to measure the voltage across the supercapacitor to see how much. Let me just see if these are getting warm, cold. These nickel metal hydrides are stone cold. Alright, it's 690 milliamps right now. Let's put this back on volts. I hope you can see all that. Oh, damn reflections. Freaky neck. I just realised it had a reflection on it. Can't win. Right, maybe that'll work. I've had this problem before. That seems to be better. Anyway, well, 1.16. Oh, the voltage is going up. That's because the nickel metal hydrides are bouncing back. Right, let's just measure the voltage across the supercapacitor. Right, so let's just put this on here. Oh, the supercapacitor has now got 1.33 volts in it. It's dropping though. So I don't know what they were using before, but there's obviously some damage done to the supercapacitor, because it's not very efficient now, but the voltage is slowly dropping. Let's see how much current we've got in the supercapacitor. Let's go to milliamps. Let's just see. Oh, over the limit. Oh, there's definitely current there. Let's go to amp range. See how much current we get out of the supercapacitor. About an amp. It's dropping low now. I saw an amp pulse anyway. It's definitely not like new, because whatever's happened to the supercapacitor is it's probably oxidized inside now. It's probably corroded, so it's probably not going to be much good. Let's go back to voltage, check that. So, oh, I just shorted the thing. We've got 1 volt on the supercapacitor. I'm going to go back and charge it again. Let's see how much voltage I've got across the... Where's my little lead gone? Hang on. See how much voltage there is across these nickel metal hydrides. Right, there's 2.62 volts there still, so right, I'm going to go back on current. I'll put this back on amps and connect this up. Right, we're charging at 1.12 amps. It's dropping anyway, so it's charging this up. So the supercapacitor is being recharged. It probably wants reforming. It probably wants some power in it because it was being flat for a long time. But yeah, it's most likely corroded up inside, because I've seen on YouTube there's a few people who have taken these things apart on old ones, and all of the foil layers and paper insulation between them is just all corroded. I'll see if this thing's making any noises. Can't hear anything. It's not fizzing or anything inside, so yeah. It seems to have stopped at 600. Well, it's actually still dropping, so it's still charging up, I think. I don't think that it probably takes a while for the water to soak through all the layers, because there's I think somebody said there's something like 8 meters of foil wraps in. It depends, actually. Probably won't be that in this one, because this is a small one, but the large one he was talking about on YouTube. Yeah, so it's probably going to take a while for that water to soak all the way through, so I'm probably doing it the wrong thing to actually charge this thing up while it's not, the water's not had a chance to soak in. Yeah, but the stuff that, the electrolytes, there could be all kinds of different things. It could be, but most things are based on water anyway. Most electrolytes have got water in them, I would have thought. Unless it's an acid. Even an acid has water in it, so it's usually the water component that dries out. So I just figured if I could replenish that water, it might bring it back to life. Because let's face it, it doesn't matter if you're using salt water as an electrolyte or using sulfuric acid, it's still going to have water in it, because sulfuric acid usually is a water-based sort of what do you call it? It's usually water-based, isn't it? Anyway, so anyway, that seems to be charging, so that's good. But what I'm gonna have to do is leave this. I'll just see if it's getting warm. Oh, it is actually warm. It's not hot. It feels. Yeah, this supercapacitor feels warm. I'm going to measure the temperature on my temperature gun. Right, I'm just going to get my thing on it. It reads 39 Celsius and the room temperature is 25. The room temperature is about 24. I'm pointing up at the ceiling, well, up at the wall. 23 over there at that wall. And this temperature on this supercapacitor is 39, so it's definitely getting warm. So yeah, I would suspect that the supercapacitor's completely, it's toast. It's had it, because it shouldn't be getting warm at 460 milliamps. It shouldn't be. So I'm probably going to have to let the water soak in. That's probably why. Oh, it's just had it anyway. But it was an interesting experiment. I just thought it was a bit of a sidetrack, really, experiment. But it was worth trying it out just to see what would happen. Anyway, I'm going to take the current off because it seems to have stopped at 450 milliamps. I'm going to go back on voltage. And I'm going to see what the voltage drops off on this. I'll take that end off. I'll go directly to it. 1.75 volts in there. It's dropping there. I'm going to get the other. I'm going to clip this on properly so it doesn't keep falling off. Hang on. I'll take that yellow lead off there. Well, I'll just clip this directly on there. If I can get the damn thing to... there we go. Right. Oh, stay on. Flipping things. It's flipping leads. Right. It's kind of warm. Yeah, it's definitely warm is that thing. So it's about 1.52 volts and it's dropping, so it's got an internal short. Yeah, turn that off and move it out of the way. Right, it seems to be quite warm. Definitely took the water though, because when I tried to get water in earlier, I just put it in the sink, just tried to get water in that way. I tried to squirt water through this rubber seal at the top with syringe. That didn't work. But when I used the vacuum pump and put it in a container to suck the air out, that definitely did work, because as soon as the vacuum was released, it couldn't suck air back in. All it could do was suck the water in, which is what it's done. So yeah, that's a good way of getting water back into a supercapacitor, if that's what it uses as an electrolyte. Yeah. Oh, it's stabilised at 1.3. Oh, it's still dropping. Oh well. I'm just going to stick this over here. I don't want it to fall on the floor. Trying to get it to stay on. That seems to be... I want to hold it all the time. Oops! Don't touch the pliers, you'll short out. Get this out of the way. I'm trying to get this on camera a bit better. That's better. 12.3 volts, you can see. I'm trying to get this. Oops! Everything keeps moving around. Right, 1.17, it's still dropping. Oh well. That's not good. Mind you, supercapacitors don't hold the power indefinitely anyway, do they? They usually drop off after a few hours anyway. They discharge themselves, they have leakage, so... If I could have got to this thing earlier, if I could have got to it before it had corroded inside and oxidized, maybe I could have saved it. Anyway, I'll just end the stream now. I'll put the camera, I can hold it now. So that's a bit of a shame, isn't that? It goes to show, if you buy cheap capacitors from China, don't expect them to last you 2 years, even if you don't use the damn things. They'll probably dry out on you before you even get to use them. Well, that's good. It's still got a volt in it. I'm wondering if I take my meter off it, the meter might be discharging. That's the thing. I'm not sure if the meter's pulling it down. So if I take it off now, take the meter off now, disconnect the meter. Right, I know there's a volt in it, so I wonder if there's going to still be a volt in that tomorrow when I go and check it. So I'm just going to leave it overnight and see if there's still a volt in it tomorrow. Probably won't be, but yeah. At least I've figured out a way to get water in, and yeah, you can get these cheap Chinese vacuum pumps with writing on you can't read. They're really cheap actually. I got this thing I don't know, a couple of years, was it a year or two back? I was going to do, maybe it was last year I think. I was going to make a vacuum chamber. I still am at some point, but I was going to use it on the generator to reduce air friction on the rotors, but I decided that's no good. It's not going to really work. But yeah, at least I've got this thing and I can make a vacuum chamber at some point, which is a future project. I could 3D print a small vessel, or I could get something that's really tough. It needs to be small area so I don't have issues with flex, because the last thing you want is it imploding on you. So it needs to be quite a thick walled material, like I wouldn't use glass, because if that shatters it could be like a TV tube imploding. It could be bad. So I would use something that's sturdy or small. These little plastic things, these tiny little tubes, these are perfect actually, because they're so small but they're extremely strong. They're made out of nylon. You can't really crush one of these very easily. You can squeeze them really hard, but they're very strong, like an egg. Eggs are pretty strong. If you put them in the palm of your hand, you try to crush them, the eggs are pretty strong. If you get the shape right, they're actually very strong. But anything with a flat side is no good, because the flat sides would concave inwards and collapse on you. You need something that's round. So at some point I might 3D print a little ball with a flat top or something with a thick lid on it, so I could put my supercapacitors all in at once and yeah, I could do that and get them re-energized with water or something. Yeah, something to do, I suppose. Anyway, I'm going to be back. I'm still winding my coil on the generator, which is over there. I'll put it aside for a bit because I was getting bored and tired with winding that coil. Actually, it's a bit monotonous and repetitive, and yeah, there's only so many wraps I'll do. I'll show you where I'm at the moment with the new coil though. You can see I've got quite a few turns on there now. I've only got another 2 rows to go, I think, and then that's 1 coil down. I've only got 2 more of them to go, and then I'll be ready to start wiring things up. So anyway, thanks for watching. Oh, I better turn my meter off.